In 1535, a woman hung from a church tower in Munster, Germany, not from a rope, but from a single iron hook that pierced through her shoulder blade. She screamed for 3 days. By the 5th day, only whispers escaped her lips. On the 8th day, she finally died. But here's what will disturb you most. This wasn't murder, it wasn't chaos, it wasn't even unusual. This was the law. That hook, the executioner's hook, appeared in official legal codes across 7 European nations for over 6 centuries. Executioners required government licenses to use it. Every single insertion was documented, signed, and archived. And I'm about to show you why this represents something far more terrifying than simple medieval brutality. Because what you're about to discover is that the hook wasn't barbarism at all, it was precision. Picture yourself standing in a crowd in 1276 Nuremberg. You've paid your entrance fee, 1 to 3 pennies, the same price as a loaf of bread. Around you are hundreds of others, families with children, vendors selling programs that list today's punishments like a theater schedule. On the platform ahead, a woman waits. She's been convicted of theft. You watch as the executioner approaches, and in his hand is something that gleams in the afternoon sun. 4 curved iron prongs, each about 3 inches long, each angled with mathematical precision. What happens next isn't random violence, it's the result of years of apprenticeship, of studying human anatomy, of understanding exactly where to insert metal into flesh to maximize suffering while preventing death, because that was the hook's purpose, to keep you alive in agony. Suspended between punishment and execution, held in a space where every breath was a choice your body had to fight for. We know these details because executioners kept diaries. Franz Schmidt, a master executioner in Nuremberg, documented 361 executions between 1573 and 1617. Of those, 345 involved hooks. His entries are clinical, disturbing in their precision. He describes shallow insertions for warnings, medium depth for punishment, deep penetration for those awaiting execution. But here's the detail that historians buried for centuries. Schmidt's notes reveal that hooks were heated until they glowed red. The searing metal cauterized blood vessels as it entered, preventing victims from bleeding out too quickly. More suffering meant better entertainment, and entertainment was exactly the point. This wasn't justice as we understand it. This was theater, with human bodies as the stage. The throat hook was the most common. Imagine the executioner positioning for prongs beneath your jaw, angling upward. He pulls, and the iron tears through the soft tissue under your tongue, through the floor of your mouth, locking behind your jawbone. Then you're lifted, you rise to your tiptoes, then off the ground entirely. There you'll hang for the next 4 to 6 hours. Inside your body, something specific is happening. The hook compresses your airway at a precise angle. You can breathe, but only barely. Every breath requires total concentration. You cannot swallow. Saliva builds, blood pools, but you remain conscious, fully and horribly aware of every second passing. After several hours, your vocal cords are so damaged that you can only whisper. Guards lean in close to hear your final confessions. This is why they called it the whisperer. Schmidt recorded one woman who whispered for 47 minutes straight before she died. Her last words, written in his careful script, were these: "It teaches nothing." Children attended these executions for free if they were under 12. It was considered moral education, a lesson in what happened when you strayed from the path. Parents brought their daughters to watch women die slowly for crimes like speaking against the church or stealing bread to feed their families. Vendors moved through the crowd selling food, drink, and those printed programs listing the condemned, their crimes, their sentences. This was normal. This was Tuesday afternoon in medieval Europe, and the throat hook wasn't even the worst of them. The method I'm about to reveal was so brutal that a queen who witnessed it immediately banned the practice. But only in her own territory. The rest of Europe continued using it for another 91 years. And the reason why will make you understand something dark about human nature and power. Bamberg, Germany, 1629. The witch trials are consuming the city like fire. The executioner forces the victim face down onto a wooden frame. Then he pushes the iron slides between the 4th and 5th ribs, angling upward into the chest cavity. blood loss was slow enough that your brain kept receiving oxygen just long enough to experience everything that was happening to you. When Catholic and Protestant armies retook the city in 1536, she refused to recant her faith. The suspension hook was designed to go through the shoulder above the collarbone or through the hip bone, and then you were hoisted up the side of a building, often the tallest church tower in the city, to hang there as a warning for days. I genuinely don't know the answer. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this isn't just history. This is a question about how we remember, how we learn, and whether we're truly any different now than we were then.